Just on Disney Charter, I have to imagine this carriage dispute is making its way into conversations you have with your peers.
Absolutely. You know, TV is the lifeblood of the NFL. We want fans to be able to watch ESPN and NFL games, and ESPN is such a huge partner with the NFL, as is Disney, obviously. So certainly as an agent representing approximately 100 players in the NFL, I care about the well-being of the league, and I hope that certainly Disney and Charter can work things out.
I think it was Zaslav this week at one of the conferences out west said this feels like a moment in terms of distribution in the modern era. Does it feel that way to you?
Yeah, it does. You know, the NFL is such a popular sport, and ESPN has hitched its wagon to the NFL with Monday Night Football, obviously. I mean, they've got to figure it out. The fans are wanting to watch the NFL and other great programming on Disney. Let's get it done. You know, there's a lot of bright people in both those companies. Get it together. Hey, I'm available. If you want to hire me to negotiate a deal,
yes.
I'm ready.
and you would, too. You're not joking. I know you. As for last night, just reflections on how sports can surprise anyone, as we said, on any given game. I see Tony reportedly now has deleted his Twitter account. Do players like that need to feel bad after a rough night?
Oh, so it was a rough game for him, but really no game comes down to one player's misgivings. You know, Tony's a young player. He's essentially a new player there. They just acquired him last year. What's amazing is if you had said to me this time last year that Detroit would beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I would have said you're nuts. Detroit started 1-6 last year. They've been the doormat of the NFL. As we look at highlights of this game, this is a stunning upset. The world champs and the MVP go down to the upstart Lions, who have been really the punching bag of the league for the last really decade and more. What you got to like about the Lions is they've got a head coach who's a blue-collar, everyman type of guy in Dan Campbell. They really don't have any superstars on that football team, but, you know, they sort of they work hard, they emulate their coach, and I think it was a great win for them, and hopefully they'll continue to play well. As far as the Chiefs, they'll bounce back. They're the cream of the crop in the NFL.
I think we should talk about Joe Burrow of my Cincinnati Bengals. Looks like he's going to be in Cincinnati for a long time, reportedly agreeing to a 5-year, $275 million contract, which is a record, Drew. He'll be the highest paid player in league history. Does that make sense?
And deservedly so. Yes, it does. Deservedly so. Joe Burrow, Joe Cool is his nickname. He reminds me of Tom Brady. At this stage of his career, he's an amazing talent. First pick of the draft, battled his way back from a torn ACL. Really, much like the Lions, I mean, he transformed the Bengals from a doormat team to really on the cusp of the Super Bowl and in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. He's an amazing player. He's really one of the true stars of the NFL. He's an awesome representative of the game on and off the field. He deserves that contract. And kudos to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is owned by the Brown family, which is one of the old school families that go all the way back to Paul Brown, one of the Hall of Famers. And they stepped up and they found a way to get it done in a small market. For years, they said they couldn't compete financially. And now they've got the richest contract and the richest guarantee in NFL history. This is awesome for the NFL, for Cincinnati, and for Joe Burrow, obviously.
Just love that.
Yeah, that you made Sarah's day.
It's good to hear.
Drew, finally on sports betting, I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about sort of how that business has matured, going into a fresh season with a lot of fresh dynamics, ESPN, Penn, and all of that. How do you think that's going to manifest itself in the way of interest, ratings, money?
Well, I'm a little biased. I'm part of a campaign. I partnered with DraftKings. You guys are going to have to look for my spot with Kevin Hart. It aired last night in pregame of the game. I'm a big believer in it. I think the NFL has obviously embraced it. DraftKings, FanDuel, you mentioned Penn and ESPN. The reality is that gambling is here to stay with the NFL. It's incredibly popular. It's mainstream. It's embraced now, and it's being done the right way. And I think it's only going to become more popular within the NFL, more dynamics, betting within the stadium, real-time betting. The NFL's partnered up with so many of the components of sports gambling. I think it's great for everybody involved. It goes on no matter what. Why not embrace it and make it something that the fans can really get the most out of?